Well, that's how you know the difference between the cards. One's wearing pants and the other isn't.
Necrotic Rune is the one black card that creature gets -X equals number of creatures in your graveyard, right?
What's up? Oh yeah, Necrotic Wound. Yeah, Necrotic Wound is an undergrowth card. Yeah, so this is going to see play in I
don't know where.
In Dredge.
Maybe it's possible.
And well, it exiles. So this can be a removal spell in the Vengevine deck because it exiles and doesn't put it in the graveyard. You don't want to be putting your opponent's creatures in the graveyard with that deck. Yeah, it exiles. So this is a piece of spot removal for that deck potentially.
All right, so we got a classic here. The classic combination colors clash.
Yeah, Golgari versus Azorius.
Yeah. So we all.
I like it.
All one thing. Whoever plays Azorius is a prick. I'm kidding. Matthew Shaw's a great guy. Matt's a good guy. Azorius is in the storyline. We're not the friendliest.
I mean, that's just the law, dude. The law is the law.
Yeah.
You know, it's not about good or evil.
It's not.
It's about right and wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, that's fine. That clears a window for something.
Yeah, Blessed Alliance is like path number 5 in this deck.
Yeah.
Or I guess these decks are playing Oust, so it's like path number 6 if you're playing the one Oust. He's probably playing a Blessed Alliance instead of an Oust, though.
Or you do both. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like Blessed Alliance is modal, so that's.
It is modal.
I mean, it's only 2 modes.
None of those things are worth 2 mana. But having the option is, and that's the direction we're moving in. We're going to see more.
Vital Force.
Yeah, I personally prefer Vivian Reed. It's the same amount of mana and gives you more options. But you know, this Vital Force makes a big elemental as one of its modes.
Yeah, you make it a Reality Smasher every turn, and the next turn if it doesn't get
the token's not legendary.
No.
Oh, okay.
It just makes a 5/5 land a 5/5 haster.
Not a legendary one.
No.
Okay. Oh, it makes the land. It's not a token. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
I think you're talking about thinking about the flip.
There's a couple of Nissas that make like a legendary token.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty cool. Here's Tracker.
I love that card.
Card is lit.
Trigger.
Yeah, Tireless Tracker is
best landfall creature ever.
Yeah.
In Modern, for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I want to explain Modern for anyone who thinks says, what about Avengers Zendikar for EDH?
I like this play a lot. We're seeing this play more and more out of the blue-white decks. Snap Opt.
Yeah.
They've moved away from Serum Visions and into Opt just because you get to hold up counter magic,
also,
and you can do this. And you can do the Snap Opt thing, and
you Miracle Terminus.
Yeah,
but
on your
also
turn.
For the fun thing about that whole Opt thing. People have been starting playing Hieroglyphic Illumination in Modern.
Yeah.
Because why would you want your Opt to get countered? And like it doesn't it's not a spell. It doesn't use a stat. Like they can stifle it.
It's drawing a card either way at instant speed.
Yep.
And the scry on the Opt is
if you're brainstorming, it's not relevant.
Yeah. And Hieroglyphic Illumination has more value the later the game goes. I don't hate it. It's just it's interesting, the evolution here. We see people moving away from Serum Visions and into Opt and recognizing the power of Opt. And then there's this other card that also draws a card for 1 mana that can draw you 2 cards for 4 mana later.
Yeah.
And that might be what you need. So I think that's cool. I wouldn't be opposed to... Oh, I've also seen Telling Time.
Yeah.
Telling Time's pretty good with Terminus if that's what you're going for. So I think... Yeah, I think that's interesting. I wouldn't be opposed to like mostly Ops and maybe like, 1 or 2 Hieroglyphic Illuminations, but I don't know. I mean, whatever.
How would you feel about Brainstorming Modern? Someone in
there's fetch lands like there's.
So it'd be as good as in Legacy.
Yeah, I mean, they're like Brainstorm was not that good
by itself.
Before Fetchlands.
Yeah.
And you have to remember that, like, Brainstorm existed for a long time before Fetchlands. Fetchlands didn't come out till, like, 2000, 2002 with Onslaught.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, Brainstorm was around for 5, maybe even, like 5+ years without Fetchlands, and then it got really good. And Modern's just another Fetchland format.
Yeah. And so I mean, basically,
it's really powerful.
Yeah, Brainstorm was like around the time where like trying to make the old like power cards, by make them playable, but give them like drawbacks, like Brainstorm.
Sure.
Back, and LED is another one.
Yeah, like Brainstorm is a fixed ancestral vision.
Yep.
And or ancestral recall.
Yeah.
And it's still really good. Because of fetch lands. I mean, we see how powerful, in the past year, we've recognized how powerful Faithless Looting is, and people are calling Faithless Looting the Brainstorm of Modern. Brainstorm is better than Faithless Looting.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Not even close. Like, Faithless Looting is card disadvantage. You have to build cards. You have to, it has a deck building restriction in that you have to put cards into your deck to mitigate the card disadvantage. Brainstorm doesn't care about that.
No.
At all. No, not even close. It's like Force of Will in Modern. Like, no thank you.
Celestial Purge probably says target. Is Celestial Purge target?
It's a
black permanent.
It is exile target red or black permanent, and Hissing Quagmire becomes a green black creature. I wouldn't have been opposed to exiling the Hissing Quagmire there. I think you could have saved the Snapcaster Mage to block a Tarmogoyf. He could have traded it with the Renyanap Excavator.
Yeah, I really just like this Renyanap here. It's like provide value for Kyle. Like be able to put, like guaranteed his land drop every turn.
It's interesting. He gets to get the Hissing Quagmire back.
I don't think so. I think Matt's going to Wrath of God here.
If he has it.
He does.
Okay. Good old Wrath, or we got a what is that?
Wrath of God. It's from the Vault Annihilation.
Oh my,
it's pretty, isn't it, Zach?
I didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of that foiling. Like among all the foiling processes, I think that one is the worst. I think that's kind of a consensus.
No. Quagmire was no.
Yeah, I was going to say good old Wrath of God or Supreme Verdict, because we all know it's Supreme or nothing. Or my personal favorite, Day of Judgment.
I actually have one of those.
Doge. The Doge.
Yeah, Doge of Judgment. It has Elspeth doing dunking on Heliod. I like the art. Oh, yeah. You mean Heliod dunking on Elspeth?
Yeah, because Heliod kind of did that.
Yeah.
So Kyle's swinging back with a Skooz and a Tarmogoyf that he was sandbagging. Yeah, Kyle's seen a lot of threats this game. I like this about the green-black deck. It's more threat dense, especially with like the trackers and stuff.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
It has
and like the post sideboard, the ramming.
I just like the curve.
Hardcore Terminus.
Yeah, I mean, like that's the thing about Terminus.
Yeah.
Like
you can hardcast it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like eating the path here. Commit Matthew doing stuff more on his turn for free speed.
Mm-hmm.
This blue-white deck's so miserable to play against. Like, especially.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, like they have the same number of lands, but Matt has a Teferi, and every turn he's just going to gain value off of that.
For sure.
Yeah, these are miserable for, and this is why we're seeing like a downtick in this kind of mid-range strategy, is because like the blue-white deck has really been able to hone in on the 75 to play in this current metagame.
Yeah.
And regardless of that, regardless of whatever the blue-white deck is trying to beat, it always has a good mid-range matchup.
Yeah, because like it plays a.
It's really hard to go toe-to-toe with a card like Teferi or Jace or Search for Azcanta.
Snap Cryptic.
Snap Cryptic, yeah. Like, if Shaw gets to untap with this Azcanta, which he almost assuredly will, that's 4 cards a turn that he has access to.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Yeah, so
I was not really impressed with the card Search for Azcanta until I learned that interaction with Teferi, and I'm like, oh my god, that's insane. That's kind of insane.
It's pretty good.
You can do that in Standard.
I know. I've never done it. So Dismember here, for anyone asking why Dismember still in Kyle's deck, it's because a popular strategy of the blue-white deck is to board into the Angels.
There's that. And then there's just the inevitability of Celestial Colonnade. Fatal Push can take care of a Celestial Colonnade, but that is a heads up. A lot of the blue-white decks have been playing a Baneslayer Angel. I've even seen them to go so far as to play a Baneslayer Angel and a Lyra Dawnbringer. A friend of mine at the Team Unify Modern Grand Prix over the weekend in Detroit lost to a board state where the blue-white player had both a Lyra Dawnbringer and a Baneslayer Angel.
What was your friend on?
Jund.
Oh, okay.
It was, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, Pharaoh lost to that. It was like round 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Which was funny because I had told him to look out for a lot when the player played when the blue-white player played the Baneslayer Angel. I'm like, that's pretty. I told Pharaoh that's pretty typical now. They'll have like a Baneslayer Angel and maybe up to a Lyra, and then like a turn or so later he played the Lyra and lost.
Yep.
I mean, I would lose to that. I would lose to the first one.
Yeah, I mean, they got to get there first for you.
That's true, and they tap out for it. But if they can get there, it's really tough to beat. The only deck that like some decks don't care about that, but they wouldn't bring those cards in against those.
I don't
like
see
Tron.
how Kyle can win here.
No, he's just in the F6 mode. Like he's just going through the motions here. Like.
Yeah, we got to get bigger. I think he's just waiting for the fairy to ult.
Matt still has to win, but he's
won.
Accumulated. He still has to actually win.
No,
but
he doesn't.
Yeah, he can take his time. He's got all the time in the world, but he still has to, you know. He's going through the motions, so to speak.
Yeah.
So here we're going to see a Field of Ruin on the flipped Azcanta, and Matt's going to activate it right quick.
Let's get this Gideon. Let's kill him.
Sure.
Let's actually kill him.
Sure. The good Gideon. I hate Gideon of the Trials so much. It's such a miserable card. This one is completely reasonable as far as Planeswalkers go. I'm okay with Gideon ally of Zendikar.
You seem like you're having PTSD about Gideon of the Trials.
It's like it's fine. Like whatever. I don't know. I can't stand like the Planeswalker card as opposed to saying you win the game eventually. Yeah. That one says you actually can't lose until you deal with me.
Yeah.
It's demoralizing, especially like
this board state.
Yeah, like he has like this insurmountable card advantage engine on one card.
Yeah.
Like that's just miserable. That's what every Planeswalker does.
Yeah.
Every single Planeswalker says draw a card.
Yeah.
Protect itself. Win the game eventually. And the protect itself mode can be by making a token. It can be by straight up killing a creature. Sometimes you have to do something to draw the card, like sacrifice something, or you have to also discard, whatever.
Duress? Oh, this is nice Duress.
Yeah, that is an expensive Duress. That's the IDW comic book version. I think those go for like $30 or $40.
It's like, yeah, Matt's like, yeah, you can look.
I like that. I've been doing that more and more.